Good morning, good afternoon, or good evening, and welcome to another video tutorial. Today's topic is solving algebraic equations. So, you know the drill. Get out your composition book, get out your pencil, and let's take some notes. First thing I want to do is just show you a video, if I can get to it. Here we go. It's called Teach Me How to Solve It, which is focusing on teaching a person how to solve algebraic equations. So let's just watch a little bit of it and we're gonna just discuss a couple things.
All you need is a paper and a pencil. Just do what I do, copy me like a stencil. In verse number 1, let's focus on the basics to make sure on your next test you're gonna ace it. We have the left side equal sign and the right. If you know this already, then you might be right. Don't get confused, don't get frustrated. Our goal is to get the variable isolated. Isolated? Yep, by itself. Like being in a room and there's nobody else. So basically, this means to be alone. Isolate by yourself, be on your own. You got the basics, now I can teach. Let's hit the chorus to the Dougie beat.
Teach me how to solve it. Teach me how to solve it. Teach me how to solve it. Teach me how to solve it.
Everybody learning, everybody learning, everybody learn now. Teach me how to solve it.
Teach me how to solve it. Teach me how to solve it. Teach me how to solve it. Teach me how to solve it.
Everybody learning, everybody learning, everybody learn now. Teach me how to solve it. Before you.
First thing he says is the goal is to isolate the variable. He mentions that in the intro of the song, to isolate the variable. Okay, that's the goal. We want to get the variable x all alone on one side of the equation. Now listen to what he says here.
It's solved. There's something you should check. Cause if you don't, it's a mess like a wreck. You must first combine all your like terms, then you'll be straight like nappy hair with a perm. It may look hard to combine all your like terms, then you'll...
So here he talks about combining all your like terms. That's very important. So when you're solving an algebraic equation, before you even try to isolate the variable, combine your like terms.
Be straight like nappy hair with a perm. It may look hard, but wait, don't quit. Look at the problem and do the opposite. If I said skinny, then you would say fat. If it says add, then simply subtract.
So another important thing he's mentioning here is when you solve algebraic equations, do the opposite of what it's asking. So notice this says x plus 4 equals -9. Well, what's the exact opposite of adding 4? Subtracting 4. And so you're going to subtract 4 to both sides of the equation, and then you'll find out that x would be -13.
If it's subtract, then guess what, lad? All you do this time is add. Don't tell me you were lost like a nomad. Follow the remix from my notepad.
Teach me how to solve it. Teach me how to solve it. Teach me how to solve it. Teach me how to solve it.
Everybody learning, everybody learning, everybody learn now. Teach me how to solve it.
Teach me how to solve it. Teach me how to solve it.
So we're going to just stop right there and then just go further into this topic, solving algebraic equations. But the guy mentions a few very important things. Number 1, isolate the variable. Number 2, combine your like terms. And then number 3, do the opposite. So let's just discuss all those concepts in that song. So, first of all, what is an equation? Well, these are examples of an equation. 5 plus 3 equals 8. 7 minus 4 equals 2 plus 1. So an equation is just showing, or is a number sentence that shows an expression equals each other on both sides of that equal sign. So again, 7 minus 4, that's 3. 2 plus 1, that's 3. That's an equation because it's showing you the expression on both sides equal each other. Well, an algebraic equation is an equation, but with variables. Yeah, it's just an equation with variables. So let's just write this down. Press pause. And the important thing to remember in algebra is this golden rule. Well, you know life's golden rule is to do unto others as you would want done unto yourself. That's life's golden rule, right? Treat others how you want to be treated. Okay. Algebra's golden rule is kind of similar. Do unto one side of the equation as you would do unto the other. What does that mean? Well, if it says x plus 3 equals 7, I know you guys know the answer is 4, right? 4 plus 3 is 7. But if you apply the algebra golden rule, do unto one side as you do unto the other. Remember the guy said do the opposite? So the opposite is to subtract the 3. Okay. I subtracted the 3. But if I'm going to subtract the 3 on this side of the equation, apply the golden rule, I have to subtract the 3 on this side. And so x is 4. So, like I said, do unto one side of the equation as you would do unto the other side of the equation. Another example, if it says add 5, well, I'm going to subtract 5. I'm going to subtract 5 to both sides. And then I know that x equals 3. If you have a plus 5 with a minus 5, that gives you nothing, right? And any number, remember this is a number, any number plus nothing, that's nothing. A plus 5 with a minus 5, you have nothing. Any number plus 0 is the number. And that's what the guy said in the beginning of the video. He said, isolate the variable. That's what we're trying to do, isolate the variable. Get x all by itself. So there is also one other rule in algebra, and the guy mentioned it. He said, do the opposite of what's asking. The other important rule to always remember in algebra, what's going on here? Okay? Always use the opposite computation. And that just means the inverse operation. So if it says add 3, subtract 3. If it says subtract 3, add 3. If it says multiply by 3, divide by 3. If it says divide by 3, multiply by 3. Do the opposite. So here, this is 5 times what number's 35? Yeah, I know. Everybody knows it's 7, right? You got it. I got it. But do the opposite. What's the opposite of multiply by 5? Divide by 5. And remember, do the golden rule in algebra. Do it to both sides. So you're going to divide by 5 here, yes, which is 7, but you're also dividing by 5 here. Because if you take 5 and you multiply by a number and then you divide by 5, guess what you get? 5 times 7, 35, divide by 5, you get 7. You get the number. A number multiplied by 5, then divide by 5 is that number. You have now isolated the variable. X is all by itself, and you get 7. So again, do the opposite. Use the inverse operation. What's the opposite of adding 19? Subtracting 19. And you're going to do it to both sides of the equation. Again, a number, or 19 minus 19 gives you 0, and a number plus 0 is just the number. This has been eliminated, and now you have isolated the variable, and you get x is 5. Here, this one says, what number when you divide by 3, you get 6? What's the opposite of dividing by 3? Multiplying by 3. So you're going to multiply by 3 here. Yes, that's 18, but you're also going to multiply by 3 here. Why? So you can eliminate and isolate the variable. You're eliminating that divide by 3, because any number multiplied by 3, then divide by 3 is the number. X is 18. So the other thing that the guy mentioned was combine your like terms. So if you want to write this down, or not if, go ahead and write this down. Here's kind of like the formula of solving algebraic equations. The first thing you should always do is see if you can simplify your expression. For example, I can simplify this side. I can combine my 2x and my 3x. That's the first thing you should be looking at. Then the next thing you should look at is how can I isolate the variable? And you're actually working backwards with the orders of operation. Normally you add and subtract last, but here, that's what you're gonna do. You're trying to eliminate the constants first. So this is what I mean. First thing I'm gonna do is simplify. So I have 5x minus 3.7 equals 33. I have combined my like terms. Then the next step I wanna do is eliminate any terms that have a plus or minus sign. So this says minus 3.7. I wanna eliminate any of those terms. Actually, let's take that back. I wanna eliminate any terms that involve just a constant, without a variable, without a coefficient, without a unknown number. So here I have 3.7, so let's eliminate that 3.7 by doing the opposite. The opposite of subtracting 3.7 is to add 3.7. So I'm gonna add 3.7 here. But if I add 3.7 here, I'm gonna also add 3.7 here. That eliminates it, right? A minus 3.7 with a plus 3.7 gets you right back at 0. So now I just have this 5x equals, if I do the math here correctly, I get 36.7. And so now the last thing I want to do is the opposite of multiplying by 5, which is to divide by 5. So let's divide by 5 here and divide by 5 here. And if you do that correctly, I would have to work this out over here at 36.7. Let's try to do this quickly. 36.7, so I would get 7. And then this would be 3. And then you could really stop right there and just say, what did I just do? That would be, oh, no, I can't stop there. I would add one more 0. 7.34. My handwriting is terrible. 7.34. And so x is 7.34. And then if you want to just check and find out if it's right or not, just plug it back in. Plug in 7.34 here and see if you get 33. See if you get 33. So all I want you to do, we'll discuss these answers tomorrow. Just solve these 4 problems. Just press pause, work out these 4 problems, and that's it. I believe that's the end of the video tutorial. So remember, let's go back to this.
Teach me how to solve it. Teach me how to solve it.
Everybody learning.
Hope you guys had a great time watching this video tutorial. I'll talk to y'all later.
Number in front of your letter, I will help you. Let's